Have you ever faced a hardship so painful that you found yourself questioning, why is this happening to me? You pray, you try to do the right thing, yet life keeps throwing one difficulty after another. Maybe it's financial struggles, health issues, broken relationships, or an emotional burden that refuses to go away. You start wondering, is this a test from the Almighty? Or am I being punished for something I've done? This is a question that troubles many people, and unfortunately, the wrong answer can lead to despair, doubt, and even distancing from faith. But what if knowing the difference between a test and a punishment could change the way you experience hardships forever? There was once a man named Yusuf who had always been dedicated to his prayers. He tried to stay on the right path, yet his life was filled with struggles. His business failed, his health declined, and his relationships suffered. Every time he tried to fix one problem, another appeared. He started thinking, maybe this is the Almighty's way of punishing me for my past mistakes. This thought tormented him, making him feel unworthy of divine mercy. But what Yusuf didn't realize was that he was misunderstanding his hardship. So, how do you know if what you're going through is a test or a punishment? The key lies in the way you respond and what it leads you toward. Tests and punishments may look similar on the surface, but they have different purposes and outcomes. The Almighty never punishes without reason, and He never tests without wisdom. One of the biggest signs that your hardship is a test rather than a punishment is that it strengthens your connection with the Creator instead of weakening it. When the Almighty tests someone, it is often to purify them, elevate them, and bring them back to Him. Think about some of the most righteous people in history, prophets, scholars, and pious believers. They all faced immense hardships, not because of their sins, but because they were loved by the Creator. A test humbles you, making you turn to Him with even more sincerity. You may find yourself praying more, seeking forgiveness, and relying on Him completely. Even though the hardship is painful, you feel a sense of inner peace because your heart is closer to its Creator. But when hardship comes as a punishment, it often pushes people away from faith. Instead of turning to the Almighty, they start complaining, feeling bitter, and even doubting Him. They stop praying, lose hope, and feel abandoned. If a hardship is causing you to drift away from faith, it may be a sign that it is a consequence of your own actions rather than a test designed to strengthen you. Another key difference is that a test comes with patience, while a punishment comes with despair. When a hardship is a test, the Almighty gives you the strength to bear it. You may struggle, you may cry, but deep inside, there is still a light of patience that keeps you going. You understand that this world is temporary and that your patience will be rewarded. Even in suffering, you find moments of gratitude, knowing that the Creator's wisdom is greater than your understanding. But when hardship feels like a punishment, it often leads to hopelessness. You feel restless, anxious, and disconnected. You keep wondering, why me? Instead of thinking, what can I learn from this? Instead of feeling strengthened, you feel completely drained. If a hardship is leading you to despair and distance from faith, it may be time to reflect on whether it is a test you need to endure or a wake-up call you need to respond to. One of the most important signs that the Almighty is testing you and not punishing you is that you are actively trying to do good, yet the hardships continue. The Creator tests those He loves, and these tests serve as a means of purification. They cleanse your heart, erase sins, and elevate your status in the next life. But punishment, on the other hand, often comes after persistent disobedience. When a person continuously engages in wrongdoings without repentance, ignores divine warnings, and refuses to change their ways, hardships may come as a means of correction. However, even then, divine punishment is not meant to destroy you, but to wake you up before it's too late. If you realize that your hardship is linked to past mistakes, this is a sign that the Almighty is giving you a chance to return to Him before facing greater consequences. Another sign is that a test leads to growth, while a punishment feels like an endless cycle. When the Almighty tests you, it is for your growth. It may be painful, but in the end, you come out stronger, wiser, and closer to Him. A test is like fire to gold. It purifies and strengthens you, preparing you for something better. Even if you don't see the wisdom immediately, you later realize that the hardship shaped you into a better person. Punishment, however, often feels like an endless cycle of struggle with no growth. A person continues to face difficulties, but instead of learning and improving, they remain stuck in bad habits, negativity, and self-destruction. If you feel like you're going in circles, repeating the same mistakes, facing the same problems, and not learning anything from them, it may be a sign that the Almighty is sending you a wake-up call. Now that you understand the difference between tests and punishments, the next question is, what should you do when hardship strikes? The first step is to look inward. If you have wronged someone, broken promises, neglected your faith, or fallen into mistakes, seek forgiveness immediately. Sincere repentance can turn a punishment into a blessing and a fresh start. If your hardship is a test, then embrace it with patience. Trust that the Almighty's wisdom is greater than your understanding. Difficult moments are temporary, but the rewards of patience are eternal. Hardships are meant to bring you closer to your Creator. Strengthen your prayers, increase in remembrance, and focus on gratitude for the blessings you still have. Sometimes, the solution to our problems is hidden in our gratitude for what we already possess. One of the best ways to ease your hardships is to help someone else going through difficulties. The more you give, the more you receive. Compassion and generosity can open doors of mercy in your own life. The more you understand about life's trials, the easier it becomes to endure them. Every hardship carries wisdom, but only those who seek to understand will find it. Yusuf, who once believed he was being punished, changed his mindset. Instead of seeing his struggles as a curse, he saw them as a test designed to strengthen him. He repented for his past mistakes, stayed patient, and focused on improving his faith. Slowly, his circumstances began to change, not because the hardship disappeared, but because his perspective shifted. So, the next time you face a difficulty, ask yourself, is this drawing me closer to my Creator or pulling me away? If it's bringing you closer, then it's a test, and you are being purified and elevated. If it's pulling you away, then it's time for self-reflection and change. Either way, the Almighty's mercy is always greater than His wrath, and He never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. Your struggles are not a sign of His absence, but a reminder of His presence. The question is, will you let your hardship push you closer to Him or further away?